What's going on, guys? Night Rainbow here with another reaction video. And I'm taking a look at the next Bonds of Justice short, episode 3, or I guess just part 3. This one titled Guard Duty. So I'm assuming we're going to be focused on that jerk guard that we keep riding into. As opposed to what we're actually going to be watching them do. I'm not sure. Considering the title, I'm guessing they're going to be standing guard somewhere, or they're just going to be chatting. But maybe we'll get a little bit of backstory into the guard himself as to why he's the way he is. So let's go ahead, get us started, and see what happens. Also, this is during the last episode.
Hey,
Yeah?
any clue why we're here?
One of the greatest mysteries of the universe. Why
Not-
are we here?
Not that kind of.
That's
Yeah.
not...
I mean, are we a product of some cosmic
That's not what she meant.
coincidence? Or is there a being far greater than we could ever imagine? Or maybe we're puppets controlled by the universe to fulfill a purpose we never
He's
knew
one of
existed.
those guys.
A little show for a bored intergalactic being to entertain themselves and whoever is out
I
there.
got a
every
friend who's
single day.
exactly like that.
Cause, I don't know, Cinnamon, but that keeps me up at night.
What? No, I mean, why are we out here guarding the Everfree Forest?
Oh, yeah,
Indeed. What was with the whole puppet show thing?
I'm not even surprised he would believe something like that.
You want to talk about it? We can call Dr. Wolf if...
No!
Oh, of
no,
course.
wait. Must have been my noggin acting fuzzy.
Of course, we're throwing Dr. Wolf into this.
This levitation spell.
Wow, I'm surprised you couldn't handle a little cult levitating you.
Hey, that kid lifted me up about 5 meters off the ground. You can't blame me for getting a bruise from that.
Uh-huh, a bruise.
You're lucky that chipmunk face of yours wasn't the one that got a black eye.
Damn.
What did you say?
Damn.
Nothing. So, what was the question you asked me?
I asked, why are we guarding the entrance to the Everfree Forest?
Right. The entrance to the crime scenes. According to the detective, we're supposed to prevent any pony from entering the forest until he returns from Canterlot.
That includes those human attorneys, right?
That's right, including the princess.
Right. I wonder why that is.
I honestly don't know. I mean, she is a princess, not to mention Princess Celestia's pupil. Why would he include her on the list?
Maybe Princess Celestia doesn't want her to tamper with the crime scenes?
Are you kidding?
Why would she, though?
She and the Yellow Attorney are working together along with the old Porcupine Attorney. There's no way she
Porcupine.
intends to tamper with the scenes. Plus, I'm sure Princess Twilight is smart enough not to do such a thing. Unless you suggest the Princess of Friendship is foolish enough to throw her status away.
No, I didn't mean it like that. I was trying to wrap my head around this nut job of a case and why any pony could do such a thing. But every time I try to make sense of it, I get more questions than answers, and I hate it.
Yeah, I'm right there
Sorry,
with you.
this is just an awful mess. Not just for us, but for the kids as well.
Squidaloo and Turning Page, right?
Not just them, a filly named Sweetie Belle too.
And also that male pony, Sugar Stamp. To be honest, I'm just as confused as you are. I didn't think we'd get another murder case at all, especially after the TS5 incident.
What in the world is going on in Equestria these days? First, there's a stallion in Manhattan who killed himself in front of an audience, and now 2 ponies were murdered in the Everfree Forest. And the fact that one of them was the clone of the other, who was one of our fellow members of the Royal Guard.
Yeah.
I know,
This
right?
is-
I mean, we're
this-
thankful to have the princess,
Quite the case so
humans,
far.
and the authorities to protect us. But the possibility a pony could be doing such a thing is terrifying.
Spade, we're part of the authorities, and the victim is a member of the Royal Guard.
Ah, right. Right. It's funny. Back when I was a colt, I used to read a lot of superhero comics. They were always about these strong, courageous figures who could take on anything. In one issue, they'll be fighting
Our
some pony as
ponies.
simple as a common thief. And in another, they go up against some mad scientist bent on world domination. And no matter the odds, the hero would always come out on top. They might get hurt, they might fall.
Kind of a shame they
but
never did more with that out
I
in
thought
the show.
that's what heroes were all about. So when I became a guards pony, I thought I'd be just like them, fighting all kinds of dangerous monsters to protect Equestria. Never losing a battle, that sort of thing, you know?
Why does his face look like that?
But I never thought that the dangers
I'm
I'll be
sorry, that was
protecting
just
from
such a
could actually
weird
come from inside our borders.
Look.
And that they could really result in the death of a guards pony. I mean, I knew our job was dangerous, but this is... Can we talk about something else, please? I don't want to think about our deaths on guard duty.
Sure thing, Sterling.
So, about that filly, Sweetie Belle, do you think she's gonna be okay in there?
I don't know, Spade. This case is a lot to take in, even more so for a filly like her. Though I can imagine that he's not making it easier for her.
He?
You know, Ashtray, the gray-coated guards pony with the sour expression.
Wait, Ashtray?
Alright, so.
For him? Seriously?
What? He's an awful pony that deserves to have garbage dumped on him like...
Oh, no,
you
that's
said
right.
yesterday.
He was a darker color. Okay.
Is it his name?
Don't say his real name.
What? How come?
If word gets out to that guy, he'll report me to Princess Celestia, who will fire me, then send me to the moon.
Ah, I get it.
Besides, he doesn't deserve to be called by his real name when it doesn't fit him in the slightest.
Aren't you being a little too mean to the guy?
No, fuck
Too
him.
mean? Didn't you see how he treated the two fillies we arrested yesterday? Not to mention how he insulted one of the element bearers while the Princess of Friendship was there.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw it.
Then why are you defending him?
I'm not defending any Pony Cinnamon. It's just...
I love her
Look,
face.
what he did to those kids was awful. His behavior towards Miss Dash was also inexcusable. That much is clear.
But with everything that's happened with this case, I sort of get it in a way.
I don't follow.
Think about it. We, as members of the Royal Guard, have a duty to protect all the ponies in Equestria. And to prove ourselves, we have to appear strong, capable, and reliable to every pony, no matter what. We can't shirk from our duty, or even appear to. Because the moment we do, then that sense of safety, which we are sworn to protect, it's gone. Royal Order's death isn't just a tragedy for all of us. It's also a harsh reminder that we're not invincible. That we can fall. That we can fail. I think that's enough to result in ponies questioning whether our strength is enough to prevent more casualties. And that'll just lead to more panic and fear. And I guess the reason why he's acting so awful is because he doesn't want to come off as weak to any pony. Maybe he's afraid, since if Royal Order could be killed, any of us could be. Then maybe he thinks that if ponies know he's afraid, or that he feels vulnerable, no pony will feel safe.
So he throws all of his emotions aside, sticks to his duties, acts aloof, possibly in denial of the situation.
All in an attempt to protect the safety of others.
And when you think about it, it doesn't make Ashtray as bad of a pony, don't you think?
I guess you got a point.
In fact, maybe I should try putting up
I
walls
don't like
too.
what you're doing here.
What? Don't be silly. Your walls are made out of glass.
No, they're not.
Damn.
Don't lie. You were crying while reading the Starving Games yesterday.
Stop.
It was an emotional scene, okay? You can't blame me for crying when little Lou died. And a lullaby at that.
Still proves my point. But really, being like Ashtray isn't gonna help any pony. I mean, I get why you want to do it, but while putting up walls and acting all stoic and aloof may make some ponies feel safer, it'll end up making it seem like you don't care at all. And that's not something you want the ponies you're protecting to think, right?
Yeah, but we have a duty to fulfill.
Do you want to fulfill that duty by acting cold and dismissive?
When you put it that way.
Exactly. I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't, try to be strong. You still have to. That's part of our duty as members of the Royal Guard. What I'm trying to say is, don't be scared to be vulnerable when you need to be. Because like you said, we're not invincible. We shouldn't pretend to be if doing so means making ponies be almost afraid or upset with us. And we shouldn't lie just to make ponies feel better or safer. We should be the best guards we can be, even if that means accepting our vulnerability.
You're right. Thanks, Cinnamon. You act more like a guard's pony than I do.
Don't put yourself down, Sterling. You're far more capable than you realize. I'm just doing what a good colleague should do.
Really? Then maybe you should share this advice with him too.
Heck no! I'm keeping my mouth shut. I'd rather let him learn the hard way than tell him.
Alright. I guess I'm taking back what I said.
Hey! I was the one who was able to knock some sense into you.
Then I'm not taking your advice if we're not going to share it with Ashtray.
You.
Come on, Cinnamon. Maybe the guy will listen to you if you give it a try. After all, you want to be a good colleague, right?
Damn.
I'll give him my advice when fat pigs fly.
Don't.
Ugh, fine. I'll try on my next shift. If he doesn't take it, I'm not speaking to him again. Got it?
Deal.
Hey, isn't that one of the human attorneys?
Yeah, it's the red one from what I remember.
Do you think he's planning to go
Okay.
inside the Everfree Forest?
Looks
We're coming
like
up
it.
to that part.
Probably to continue the investigation.
Should we stop him?
You know what to do, Cinnamon.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Halt!
Nice. Nice little jingle there. All right, so not exactly focused on who I thought it was going to be. I guess in this case, Ashtray. Now we know his name. I don't believe his name was ever mentioned before. But yeah, that was kind of a cool little look into some of the guards that we see in the background. And in this case, I guess two of them that we saw briefly in the last episode. Was that last? Well, it was probably the last episode and episode before that. But it's funny. So we did kind of get a little bit of backstory into this Ashtray, but not a whole lot. We just know that he's, I guess, and the way Spade pointed out, he's an asshole because he's realized that, you know, all of a sudden, yeah, guards can't die. Because to be fair, yeah, I guess if you're living in, if you're going by the show, you know, stuff, bad things have happened, obviously, with Tyrek and Chrysalis and all that, but how many guards have actually died? If you're going by the show, really no one dies. They just get hurt, you know? So you get to a situation like in this show where all of a sudden people are dying left. These ponies are dying left and right out of nowhere. Then yeah, I can see where he's coming from. I don't like what you're doing with us trying to make understand. Suddenly trying to understand why he's an asshole. I still hate his guts, and I forever will. So you ain't changing my mind on that. Maybe if he apologizes later on, I might line up. But until then, nah, fuck him. Ashtray or whatever his real name is. I would have loved to have heard his name or like hear the name slip or something. But yeah, other than that, that was pretty cool. You know, again, just you don't really get to focus on the guards all that much. There's probably some fan stuff out there that does. I mean, obviously, there's lots of fan fiction that focuses on guards. But in terms of actual video stuff, I don't see too many of that. So that's, even if there's just like a little tidbit, I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, other than that, just a short, sweet little video into these two characters. They actually kind of, not to the extent, but I kind of got the vibe from these two of in the first season of Mandalorian, the two scout troopers that during the I think it was either the final episode or the one before the finale of that season. Like, I just feel it felt a lot like that, or at least similar to that, but just without the whole, you know, poking fun and everything, all the Empire tropes that they had going on. But yeah, other than that, pretty good. And as I'm recording this at least, the next episode of Case 2 will release. That's what, like, episode 7, I believe, and they'll actually do the trial. Don't know how many episodes that's going to take, since technically we're still on the same case. So this will either be a 1 to 3 episode trial. Hey, that case is definitely turning out to be a lot longer than I was expecting. But so yeah, I'll get to that when I can. There should be a time next week that I'll be able to record it. As to when I get uploaded, we'll see. Since I have to record my video camera, and lately I've been having issues with that thing. But at least this time I know to look out for it, and I can actually do the workaround with that, as much as I hate doing that. But better than nothing. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Take it easy.